Hi guys, it's Christian on the first YouTube video, and I'm gonna be talking about how to mod your Nerf
Christian was 19 years old. He was a sophomore at UW, living in a frat house, right? Full-time student, finance major, and he was not old enough to possess a handgun in the state of Washington. He wasn't allowed to have any of his training equipment with him in his room, so he would drive or either get picked up and go back to his parents' house to train, dry fire practice. They'd have to kind of chaperone him to the ranges because he's not old enough to be there on his own for most of these places. And then he wins a national championship against full-time guys, you know, the top dudes that have been in the sports for decades.
Gun Club doing a little training session today. This is Joe. He's my guy here. So go and train, and been doing this for what, 3-4 years at least, coming in early in the mornings. Yeah. You're here early, I'm in here early, and getting our work in. So I've been coming to Bellevue Gun Club since I was 13. It all started right next door is a dance studio. So my twin sister would come for dance lessons on different weeknights, and when this place was being built, I was like, no way that's gonna be arranged. We gotta go check it out. And before you know it, they were offering tours, so I came here and toured the place. I was like, Mom, we gotta go there. So it all started with that. We were shooting here a little bit, did a little intro safety course and whatnot, and then when I started competing, they had a Tuesday night event. This is back when I was 13 years old. But when I'm here, every single practice session is structured the exact same way. It'll start with a cold start. So with that cold start, I'll do my dry fire warm-up like I was shooting a match. But that cold start, you only get one every single time. Once you shot those first rounds, you're warm. You've already trained, right? So a cold start's the assessment. If this was stage 1 of the World Championship, how would I perform? And I do that all the time. Usually it's how would I perform at the Nationals, but every 4 years you have that World Championship. So what we'll start off today with is a cold start. I'll do a little mini stage. I'll execute on demand when it matters most. When it comes down to it, you can be a practice GM, a practice national championship and champion, but what really matters when you show up to the match. You can be that practice national champion, or you can be a national champion when you toe the line at that match all across the country, or you can be that world champion when you toe the line at that world championship. Whether it's in Thailand, whether it's in South Africa, the goal is the same. Execute on demand. Shoot as fast as your sights allow you to. Keep the gun on target till the bullet leaves the barrel. It's the same goal every single time. So I'm gonna start today with a cold start assessment. If the world shoot was today, this morning, here at 8 o'clock in the morning, how would I perform? And we're gonna start with that cold start. Good cold start. We'll check out the target. Everything's good to me. We got two alphas. We got these two. Yeah, plates are down, so good run here. That's what this game is all about. It's can you, when you toe the line, step up and deliver when it actually counts. And that's what this stage was. We shot our points, we hit the plates, we're controlled in the position, the gun was up, so happy with this run. All right, fresh target, let's do it. So pretty happy with this. You know, 99% alphas. I had one Charlie here I shot from the 20-yard line. Felt my sights go back up. I was waiting, and I cranked it off a little bit too early, but this is a good check in my book. Every training session I go into, I have that mentality. I'm 99% ready. I'm 99% where I want to be. There's always room for improvement. And that's the championship mentality. I train myself extremely hard. I put myself through the hardest trials in my training so that when I go to the match is just execution and you take care of business. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I mean, I'd never been on the world stage before for the last World Championship, hadn't been over to Europe, hadn't been over to Asia. And so, I mean, not even the opening ceremony, it's just getting the range. As soon as I got out of the car, people were taking pictures, signing autographs and everything. Gun check, like as soon as I was done, I had a line of people waiting for pictures and everything like that. And then just walking around on the stages, I mean, I couldn't go five steps without taking pictures with people. You know, growing up, I never really expected that. Didn't know what to expect from the world shooting community. But now it's funny. The messages that I get, or the people that run into people that know me, or I was at a concert last weekend and just chatting with someone there that knew my shooting, and so just funny who you run into and people you meet. I never knew it would get this big, but it's pretty cool, and it's a big honor and privilege that people know who I am and what I do and what I'm about. So it's pretty neat, and I love meeting people from all across the world. People that, you know, I've been watching your videos since you were 13 or 15, or been seeing your content or comment on stuff. So I love meeting people from all around the world, and it's truly an honor and privilege for sure. When people ask when you go into a match, what's the mentality that you have to have? And if you don't go into that match knowing that you are going to be the champion and you're going to win, you've done everything in your training to achieve that, you shouldn't show up. And if people don't understand that, they don't understand that, they don't know what it takes to be the best. And you have to put energy and effort into every action you take to get yourself one step closer to winning that world championship. I've made the sacrifices. Not everyone knows I'm one of the only pro guys that has a full-time career. So I have to balance my career and my shooting. You know, also all the other responsibilities that life entails, right? So I work hard in the office, and as soon as I get out of there, I go work and I perfect my craft. And so I balance my full-time job, I balance my family, my life obligations, and my shooting. So you have to work diligently, you have to strategize, and that's what I've had to do. I may not be able to shoot as much as my competitors, have access to all the things that my competitors have, but what I do have access to is my competitive spirit, my drive, my energy, my passion that I have for the sport, and that's what's gonna make me the two-time repeating and defending world champion here in South Africa. So I grew up in Bellevue. It's a suburban area just right outside the city. It goes Bellevue, then Mercer Island, and then Seattle. Seattle's obviously the big city. Bellevue's one of the suburbs there. So it's a good area to raise a family and everything, but really not a big shooting community. I mean, we're probably 30 minutes to an hour away from really rural environments, more the further you go east towards the mountains. So I grew up in the suburbs. So when I wanted to shoot, we'd have to go to the local indoor range. If you want to go train outdoors, you'd be driving at least 30, if not 40 minutes to do that. So, you know, I didn't grow up on a farm with a bunch of places to shoot. Didn't grow up on the country where I could shoot 5-10 minutes down the road. Grew up in the city, but it's something I was passionate about and I prioritized. So no matter where you live, you can really do well if you prioritize it and just make it happen. In high school and throughout grade school and everything growing up, I played baseball at very competitive, high level, select teams, travel tournaments, all that sort of stuff. And in high school, played high school ball and on very competitive baseball teams. But once I was getting really competitive with baseball, you know, the shooting also picked up. So I made a decision. I was the only guy on my 18U baseball team that didn't go play at D1 or D2 schools playing in college. I wanted to focus on going to the school that I wanted to go to, University of Washington. I got direct admit to their business program, so I chose that over baseball. And also I knew that I was gonna have to leave shooting behind, and I just placed third at the US Nationals. And that's something I saw a future and career in, so I pivoted. So I put baseball aside and focused on my school, my future, and focusing on shooting at that point.
He was always a very happy kid, didn't let things get him down, but he was also very competitive. And a story I was thinking about with that was one of the first days of like first grade, the PE teacher like calls me over in the parking lot. He says, we had an incident in kindergarten today, or first grade. And I was like, no way, not with Christian. He's not a fighter, you know, or whatever. And he said, this is a Catholic school, you know, trying to treat Christian values to these kids. And apparently Christian was rallying his like Red Rover team with let's kill him. And the teacher's like, yeah, that's not really appropriate for our Catholic school. And then I, of course, tried to defend him, like, oh, he's really competitive. He plays sports, his t-ball team, and, you know.
I think he was the shortest kid on the team, but he had the fire and the drive, and he was always been strong. And I think he led the team in rebounds because he just would box out and do the dirty work in the game and get rebounds and do stuff and participated well, even though he was the littlest kid on the team at the time.
Yeah, so Christian didn't come from a family of shooters. We let him shoot Nerf guns, and my dad had him shooting a .22 and a BB gun, but we really didn't support it initially when he wanted a handgun because we didn't really think that was necessary. And
growing up, I would run around the house doing dry fire, whether like a door will like a handle will be a steel target, or maybe another section will be a plate. Much to my mom's chagrin, I've probably shot these candles with Nerf guns, with BB guns, not actually in the house, but like dry fire and BB gun, and my real guns for years and years and years. These ones are my little plate racks that I would shoot. This is also some falling steel. These would be my center of the targets. I look to the center of them, and we shot everything in the house. My mom thinks that there are some marks from mags dropping.
a couple of dents.
They were not from me. There's someone else in the house that dry fires. No one in the family else shoots, but there's someone else that's done a little bit of dry fire dropping mags. I really don't think I've done that many, to be perfectly honest, especially not in recent years. She may disagree, but she's been very flexible with letting me keep my shooting stuff in our basement storage room, stuff in my room, so it's been good.
The logistics were interesting because he had won 2 area matches the year before and came in 3rd at nationals. And so it was like, well, gosh, let's shoot more of these things. And so, he was in school, he was at the university. I remember one of the area matches was his big formal from his fraternity. And so, gosh, didn't want to miss that. I remember all these things. And that was area 4, I think. And it got tornadoed out and it got delayed a couple weeks, and so he could go. And so there was a lot of things that fell into place that year. And so we had made arrangements for a few of the trips, and then as the calendar started evolving and the timing of these matches came out, because at that time they weren't all done at the beginning of the year, I was like, 1 and 7 are the same weekend. And we were kind of laughing. We said, to shoot both of them, you'd have to go shoot staff match at Area 1. Shell could drive you down to Bend, 6-hour drive, and then I'd have to fly you to Boston. And we laughed, and he goes, and we kind of go, well, okay, we'll do it. And so we did both that weekend, and it kind of was like, okay, well, once we hit the ball, he didn't start the year, I'm gonna win every area match. It was like, let's go to some more area matches, get more big match experience against other big name shooters. And it just sort of evolved. And then it was like, well, let's go do all of them. And we kind of laughed about that Area 1 and Area 7 thing the same weekend. And then it came, and then nationals happened. I remember at the last day, because I think it was pretty close to even or just a hair behind the 3rd day, and he crushed the first 2 stages, and then he had a lead, and then he kind of kept that. And I remember going into the last stage, he had like a 24 point lead.
I'm the videographer for most of these. I do the 3rd person video, and I just remember trying to steady myself, like, oh my gosh, if he can just get through this last stage, we're gonna win this thing. And every finish of every match that he's winning is stressful for me, because I'm like, anything could happen here, he could have some misses or whatever. But no, when he won that was a giant load off our mind. I mean, because it's a lot of pressure after winning 8 and then still having to win nationals, so it was tough.
The biggest thing was the back and forth all throughout the day. I was down some points, I was up some points, had a 20-30 point lead. I lost out on one stage. I came back, delivered on the next stage exactly what I needed to do. I had like a 10-point lead. And then going into the last stage, I just needed to shoot like 85%. So I knew what I needed to do, and I went up there and just delivered. And so now I'm winning by 100+ points. Last nationals was 80 points, 90 points, something like that. So now I have a larger margin. Back then I really didn't. I didn't really know what I was doing, to be perfectly honest.
You'd have to have pretty much a disaster. I'm like, he just has to hold it together and he's gonna win. And I was like, holy cow, my kid's gonna win nationals. This is like, he's 19 against all these other pro shooters and stuff. And so it was a pretty cool experience to be there with him to see that happen. I remember the last day at the World Shoot, he had a 50-some point lead, and he just kind of very, very tactically shot. And he'll kill me if I said he shot slowly, but he shot carefully. That's a better word. And he had a 25, whatever point lead in the last stage, 26, 27. And so he just says, I just have to finish. I have to get no penalties and finish. And I remember he shot all alphas slowly, slowly for him. The bobber, he took two passes on, 4 alphas, and came off. And I remember the squad kind of congratulating him. And the part that was the most meaningful that day for me is that everyone kind of congratulated and I gave him a hug out on the field. But he came back to his range bag, And I'm his dad, so I'm the only one that saw that. But I saw the emotion on his face, and I'm like, wow, this really means something to him. You know, this is a culmination of something he's worked for. So that to me was the most special moment. And he doesn't know that because I just told him that now. But I saw that, and it was just a big deal for him. To see him accomplish his dream.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. There. All right, I gotta get that off. But you know what I'm talking about, and I'm not gonna say anything more. But I was like, damn, man, this is just the coolest thing for him, right?
I think just really strong mental conviction and being able to shake off mistakes. I mean, or misses or whatever. He seems to not get rattled by anything, and it's the same thing that I saw in him in baseball. You know, we were talking, he would get thrown in as a relief pitcher in just the absolute worst scenarios. Bases loaded, we're down 9-0, and they throw Christian in, and he's comes in like he's a starter and he's going to win this game. And we saw it time and time again in baseball, just the being able to shake off someone getting a hit off you or whatever and coming back. And same thing happened in shooting. You know, he would be on the brink of winning and something would go wrong and he'd have to come back, and he just was very mentally strong and didn't let things rattle him, didn't let people rattle him, just put the blinders on and focus on his own game. And we stepped back and just let him do his thing, and it seems to work. It's been really fun to watch. I mean, that's an understatement, but I think back of how I initially kind of wanted to hold him back because I'm trying to be fair with all my other kids and all the travel and expense that he caused us as a young kid. And then all the me yelling at him about his Nerf guns around the edges of our house and don't bang up the paint and all that kind of stuff, to him sneaking away, making Nerf gun videos and posting them to YouTube that were just outrageously funny. And they're all in the dark because I told no, not YouTube, you're like 8 years old, people are gonna see that. And to watching him win races and be looked at more as a man than a child. I mean, I used to take him to matches and they, who's this little kid? I was taller than him when he started. I'm all of 5'3", so it's been a while. But to the world shoot with the U.S. flag wrapped around him and just looking like a full-grown man at that point, even though I still see him as my little Chris. So it was tough. I was fighting back tears trying to film. I got the best pictures of him on the podium and at the world shoot. It was awesome. It made it all worth it. All the, early mornings and flights and overnight flights and all the stuff we've done. So.
Down here at my presses on my Super 1050, I also have an RL 1100 with the automated DA 3000. As far as loads go, I'm shooting 38 Super Comp. For it, I'm using a 124 grain jacketed hollow point from Everglades, using Starline brass, Winchester primers. I use 9.6 of Vitavuri 3M38, and it's loaded to an overall length of 1.235. So I'm able to custom tailor my load to my gun, make sure that it's keeping the gun as flat as possible. It's using the compensator. It's having enough gas to use that. It's a clean burning powder, so the gun doesn't get too dirty. And it's also reliable, though, that I've watched every single one of these get loaded. So when I pull the trigger, it goes bang and hits what I'm trying to hit there. As far as practice and training, when I grew up, I was very fortunate to have resources with ammo, shoot 15 to 20,000 rounds a year. But there's also a lot of 22 shooting, a lot of dry fire. You need to be disciplined when you show up to the range. You need to come with a purpose and a plan. You need to know what you're working on, what drills you're going to do, some of the times you're looking for, the progress that you're looking to make. Now I have more access to rounds. I can shoot 30, 40,000, in a year. But mainly I just focus on the quality over quantity. If you show up intentional, you show up with a plan, you can get your work done. You can mix in your dry fire reps. So you don't have to have unlimited ammo. I've accomplished so much on a very low ammo budget with capabilities to have more, but time is really precious. So show up, quality over quantity every single time, and that's where championships are made.
I think of it like the first Captain America movie. You got Sam.
Yeah.
It's like, I do what he does, just a lot slower.
So guys, this is Anthony Felders, my training partner for 4 or 5 years now, head firearms instructor at a local PD. I know we're not going to put the logo and everything, but my local police department, SWAT officer, total badass, my training partner. We do classes together, train together, and this is our old dojo. I mean, it's not much, but it's what we have, it's what we work in. Used to be cold, used to have no heaters. We called it the
Rocky Training Center.
Yeah.
Like Rocky 3.
So last World Championship, we could literally see our breath as we shot. It was that cold. So we'd turn the heater on in here, we'd load mags, we devised a good little training plan, go out there, execute, come back, load more mags, get our work in, and then we punch out. So this is the same sort of thing, prepping for the World Championship. He's been instrumental to my success, and we'll just keep ripping here. And one of the funny things, I mean, you can attest to it, how crazy do we get in here with the difficulty?
Unrealistic.
Yes.
Unrealistically difficult.
But there's a reason for that.
Yeah, I mean, harder you make it in practice, easier it's going to be on match day. So.
And so, I mean, we're getting close to the World Championship. I don't need to scare myself by shooting, 25-yard partials and having problems or anything. That work's been done. Now we're not shooting layups here by any means. We're still pulling up from the three-point line. We're just not shooting half-court shots to rock any confidence or anything. We're just confirming what we already know. We have the skills and ability to go there and take care of business. That's how I've been training all year, so that's what we're going to do. So this is our training facility here. He has in-service police officers, some SWAT trainings here and everything. Usually when I'm working with his guys, we go outside, run fishing game club. Sometimes he'll be in here. I'll swing by for a practice. He'll be finishing up with, is it new guys or who's it typically?
Usually it's new guy training in here.
Yeah.
That we catch at the end of the day. But we do more of the bigger training events with Christian at the outdoor range. There's more space, kind of facilitate more rapid training, less waiting time in between reps, that kind of thing. So,
Exactly. So
that's good.
we'll go in here, get the work. If I get the privilege to work with some of his guys, it's always good to get out there and shoot with the law enforcement guys. A lot of departments, they just shoot static. They'll shoot, little bullseye targets. And with your background, with Yang Lee's background, because you came after Yang Lee, right?
Yep.
So Yang Lee started the program, the action shooting, like USPSA training style, the speed and accuracy, more real like what engagements you get into of shooting as accurate as you need, as fast as possible, getting rounds down range on target. And that's kind of the protocol. I mean, what does that kind of look like?
Well, I mean, it's a relatively new concept for law enforcement, but it's catching on more widespread, I think, across mostly in California and the Southwest, but it's catching on everywhere. But yeah, I mean, it's just trying to get people from the static, line drills, bullseye marksmanship stuff into dynamic shooting stuff. It's an uphill battle, but
it is. But he's doing it. And like having this practical shooting in different departments really helps officers be more prepared of what they get into in the real world scenarios. So it's really cool to work with those guys. And we went down to California for a class and all that sort of stuff. So it's been good doing that.
Yeah, so Yang Lee was a cop for 30 years, started in Texas, moved up here in the 90s, took over the firearms program in the late 90s. It was a 5-division USPSA GM. And once upon a time, like in the early 2000s and 2010s in this range, him and Travis Tomasi used to train in here like weekly, right? So, 20 years ago, there was a cop and a world champion training in the range, and fast forward 20 years now, there's a cop and a world champion training in this range, so it's pretty cool.
It's pretty awesome. It's good history. And I mean, thinking about history with Yang Lee, with Anthony, also history of Yang Lee here, we shot a 2016, it was on Valentine's Day actually, some heart-shaped targets at the range. I shot a stage with my production gun, Glock 34, and he told me and my dad, he said, you could be a national champion one day. And I was like, oh, I don't know, maybe. And I remember he gave me some early advice. I remember I had a big stick on an open gun like a year or two later, and I was like, oh, I'm worried about reloading to a big stick. I only practice loading to the small mags. He's like, that's not going to work out for you. And what I do, I go up there, toss the big stick, miss the reload, and he's like, always have a positive mindset. Always go up there, I'm going to go crush it. I'm going to go smack the load, that sort of stuff. So that's important to think about the mindset there. Then Anthony and I also have the same alma mater. We both went to O'Day High School in Seattle. He has a little more history at O'Day than I do. Yes, real Irish. Yeah, he's on the wall of honor for his football accolades there. All-state, all-American type of guy. Played at Cal. Big resume there. So we both come from competitive backgrounds. He took the sports further than I have, and now we're both here shooting together.
I'm just an old guy now.
We're wearing these vests in here. It's a city policy, so we got to wear our vests in here when we train. This is his normal attire. I'm kind of LARPing a little bit by wearing this, but it's also a requirement.
What was the order?
Yep, so through this, the outside two open guys.
Oh, okay.
Outside two open, this guy, that guy, reload all three.
Okay.
All right, perfect. See, I don't know if you can tell because I look small comparatively to Anthony. He's also squatted down right now. He's a lot bigger than I am, like NFL-sized football player. So he's got to move around the stuff to fit in the same spot. All right, are you ready? Go. Stand by. Good points here, good points here. 2 A's down here, 2 A's. Looks solid, bro. Nice shot.
On that one over there.
Sweet.
I don't know, it might be on the line.
It's touching. It's touching.
He's 25 years old. He's never really been able to commit full time, 100% of his energy and resources into shooting. It's always been a balancing act. Last year, he won 2 national championships while, getting his CFP done and working full time. So, it's like if we ever get a chance to see the 100% of his prime, what he can do, man, it's gonna redefine the sport, I think, because right now he's pretty much beating up on everybody while working a full-time job and like being a normal person in his free time.
When people ask me who I want to compete against, what I want to do, I want all the smoke. I go out there, I want to track down the world's best competitors wherever I go, shoot their division, do whatever it takes. I want all the smoke. I want to be the best shooter in the world, and what that entails is shooting against everyone, anywhere, and anytime. That's the championship mentality. And if you don't go into that match knowing that you are going to be the champion, you're going to win, you've done everything in your training to achieve that, you shouldn't show up. And if people don't understand that, they don't understand that, they don't know what it takes to be the best. And you have to put energy and effort into every action you take to get yourself one step closer to winning that world championship.